is planned for.
Actions on IED contact, immediately halt, check for secondaries, at which point the Chimos will clear up to the casualty.
Canadians call foot patrols here IED hopscotch. Delta Company has already found more than 3 metric tons of explosives in and around this village. They find IEDs almost daily, so every step is taken with caution. Sometimes they find them before they explode, sometimes not. Up ahead, a young private has hit an IED. It's Danny High. He stepped on a plastic jug packed with explosives. The blast sends the patrol into a state of high alert, watching for a possible follow-up attack or a triggerman who could be nearby.
Paul, watch those guys that were fucking over there.
Yeah, the smallers?
Yeah, but it's to your front. It's to our front, so don't worry. Just watch them.
High is carried out to Kandahar airfield. Miraculously, he survives the blast with minor injuries. He'll go home in one piece. Other members of Delta Company who left this way were far less lucky. Despite the obvious danger for High's comrades, the patrol continues. Every step, a sigh of relief. Remember, building relationships with locals is the mission here. This is a man the Canadians trust. For their safety, we can't reveal his identity or the identity of an Army translator. Lieutenant Vino and Delta Company Commander Major Wayne Niven speak for the Canadians.
It's extremely important that the cooperation that we've established to date continues and only gets better.
This man says he wants the Taliban fighters gone, but that they're still strong nearby and come here often to plant IEDs. Asked why he hasn't reported their activities, the man says the insurgents banned cell phone use.
How did they know that there was a cell phone ban? Who told them, or did someone post a night letter, or how did they find out?
Someone stuck a night letter on the door of the mosque 2 weeks earlier, it seems, and just the day before, a Taliban fighter smashed someone's cell phone in the street.
Why is this all information that's just coming out now? I was here 3 days ago. You never told me anything about insurgent presence. You never told me anything about cell phone bans.
Locals have to carefully weigh which side to take in this conflict. This man could face death if the Taliban knew he was cooperating with foreigners.
Thank you very much for his time this morning. We understand that he does take a risk by talking to us, but we appreciate it.
Who's really friendly seems impossible to tell sometimes, but Wayne Niven says there are concrete signs of progress.
Yesterday, in fact, a local national came to one of our platoon patrol bases and mentioned that there was an improvised explosive device within the village itself. So we sent out a patrol and located the device. And in fact, right in close proximity to that device, we found a rather large cache of materials for making additional improvised explosive devices.
The fact that there's so many IEDs around here, not just strikes, but you're finding a lot still after all this time. Does that discourage you at all?
No, it does not. The fact that this platoon alone has taken over 1.5 metric tons of IED components or homemade explosives or anything like that has shown that we've severely degraded the Taliban capabilities in this area. However, it's like anything, they'll continue to keep coming in and keep trying to threaten us with additional things that we continue to find.
It's unlikely the costs of that success have been completely tallied yet. For these soldiers, explosions are just part of the stress.
You guys have that, bro?
What?
I've been cursed by like fucking like 7 gypsies in this country already.
Oh yeah, man.
especially for soldiers like these at ground level.
His wife walked straight over to me and just gibbered in my face like, and then walked away. I was like, holy fuck.
Do some spits like
Yeah,
handle.
spits on the ground and shit, yeah.
Like, second week in Afghanistan, I don't know what the fuck these guys do.
They may look relaxed, but there's a constant stress from constant unseen danger.
The next green grape field down with the door.
Okay.
And that one there, but we haven't been able to get any eyes on.
Okay, Roger.
In broad daylight, someone has fired a shot at the patrol base from somewhere in the grape fields.
Keep eyes on him.
Yeah, Roger.
Afghan soldiers run into the fields to investigate, but this man is just a farmer.
And then we also try and...
The stress of that confusion takes its toll.
It's hard, right? Because you don't know who's who, right? You know what I mean? Like, it could be a farmer, it could not be a farmer, so it makes our job a lot more difficult. But
Master Corporal Mike Leonard says the worst part is not being able to fight back.
right, because there's no enemy, you know what I mean? It's just, you know, a little sand monster that's gonna bite you when you don't know when, right?
I know my IED tolerance it's no longer there. I can't deal with it anymore. I'm done with IEDs. Yeah.
For sure, it is frustrating. I mean, I feel their frustration. We've lost 4 soldiers in my company since the beginning of this tour. In fact, the only 4 in the Canadian battle group over the last 7.5 months. But what I say to them is that you know, even the most frustrated soldier can see the difference that we've brought to the area with respect to security.
2 hours after this interview, Delta Company loses its 5th soldier, Private Kevin Mackay of Barrie, Ontario. Delta's other fatalities, Sapper Stephen Marshall, Sergeant John Fout, and Private Tyler Todd, were also killed by IEDs.
It's Doc's last night here, last day here working with us. He's going back to Shoja on his way back home to Canada, so
Awesome job, Doc.
it's good working with you, Doc. You did a really good job with us.
A year and 8 months later, I'm going home.
The withdrawal is scheduled to begin next summer and to be completed by the end of the year. And that is News in Review. Don't forget to check out our website at newsinreview.cbclearning.ca. I'm Michael Serapio. Thanks for watching. It's in all kinds of products and in 9 out of 10 Canadians.
We want a ban on bisphenol A in food and beverage containers right away.
It is better to be safe than sorry.
On News in Review today, BPA, the chemical inside us. Hello, I'm Michael Serapio. Bisphenol A, or BPA, is an industrial chemical that is used to make hard, clear plastic. It can be found in everything from food containers to your hockey helmets, even your DVDs. And last month, the Canadian government became the first government in the world to declare it a toxic substance. In a release, the government said Health Canada considers that sufficient evidence relating to human health has been presented to justify the conclusion that bisphenol A is harmful to human life and should be added to Schedule 1 of the Canadian Environmental Protection Act. Adding BPA to a list of toxic substances will allow the government to draw up regulations to control its use. It's a controversial decision. The chemical industry claims BPA is safe and that the government is needlessly scaring people. But fears about the chemical and its possible harmful effects have been around for a while. 4 years ago, Health Canada began looking into those effects, and shortly after that, as the CBC's Margot McDermott reported, some consumers started taking matters into their own hands.
The wheels go round and round.
It's a regular day at George Brown College daycare, but there's something unusual going on behind the scenes. Staff are collecting plastic bottles and cups that come from home and asking parents to buy new ones for their kids.
We want parents to purchase new bottles that don't have this chemical in it or this compound, and so that they are not going to have a risk of having effects to their health.
The compound is bisphenol A. It's in everything from baby bottles to water containers. It's the key ingredient in clear, hard plastic. But some studies show that bisphenol A upsets human hormones, and it's been linked to some cancers and developmental problems in children. It's prompted Lori Goff to throw out all her plastic food containers.
We have these big glass containers now, which we have all our water in all the time. So those are the main things we've done. We've really tried to get rid of all the plastic.
This new store sells plastic-free food and water containers. The owners can barely keep up with the demand.
We're getting a phenomenal reaction. In the past year, especially in the past, I would say even 6 months, skyrocketing awareness of the issue of bisphenol A and plastics in general.
So if you look at a drinking water bottle, for example.
The controversy over bisphenol A has sparked a new campaign by environmental groups.
We want a ban on bisphenol A in food and beverage containers right away.
But manufacturers argue they shouldn't have to change the way they make plastic because other studies show bisphenol A is safe.
We're confident that when the science is reviewed in its entirety, that the weight of scientific evidence will continue to support the safety of bisphenol A.
Health Canada has put bisphenol A on a list of possibly dangerous substances. It's asked industry to list how much and where it's used. It'll make a decision to limit or ban the chemical within a year.
For the rest of Canadians who are willing to wait for us to make our decision, because it will be coming shortly, then I would advise them to wait. But if they're concerned, then that's a personal choice.
It seems many people are already making the choice to pitch the plastic now. Margot McDermott, CBC News, Ottawa.
5 months later, in April of 2008, the government did make a move, but only a partial one. It said BPA could be dangerous for babies and moved to ban the import and sale of baby bottles containing the chemical. Here is the CBC's Susan Bonner.
The trend was already well underway. Stores and parents choosing plastic baby bottles not made with bisphenol A. Why mix a controversial chemical with babies when there are alternatives?
For me, I'm a scientist myself. I actually happen to know the bisphenol A is a serious chemical that can cause lots of biological problems in laboratory animals, and so I didn't want to expose my daughter to these.
With moms and babes before the cameras, the government announced it plans to ban baby bottles made with bisphenol A, just in case.
But it is better to be safe than sorry.
The government says its scientific testing shows that toxic levels found in hard plastics are too low to harm Canadians, even babies. But because they are still developing and there is more leaching of the chemicals when bottles are heated,
The margin of safety is most at risk when it comes to newborns.
the government is boasting this ban will make Canada a world leader on dealing with dangerous chemicals. But Canadian consumers and businesses are really the ones leading the way. Some products containing BPA, even those not covered under the ban, are being replaced on the shelves of major retailers.
The study is based on infants.
In this Winnipeg water bottling plant, where the bottles contain low levels of BPA, huge relief.
Well, I feel great because this says what we thought it would say all along, and that is that the 5-gallon polycarbonate bottle is a safe bottle to use.
But over at a competitor, where producers use a plastic without BPA, they see things differently.
If you know that there's a product that you want to stay away from, it doesn't matter what the scientists so much say, oh, this is okay in such and such a bottle and not in baby bottles. It's like, no, as a consumer, I'm just going to stay away from that altogether.
Environmentalists who applaud the government's move agree.
I have no doubt that this announcement today is the beginning of the end for this chemical in all its applications.
There's a long way to go before anyone can claim the end of bisphenol A. There's still no substitute for it in some products, can liners, for example. The government says it will work with industry to find an alternative. Susan Bonner, CBC News, Ottawa.
Just a few months later, in September 2008, the government expanded its warning about BPA. Now it's said the chemical might not only be risky for babies, it could also be risky for adults. The CBC's Lori Graham has that story.
Janice Prazoff loves to come to this baby store to shop for her son Sam. It has rows of colorful products free of bisphenol A or BPA, a controversial chemical used to harden plastic.
I'd rather, to err on the side of precaution and use something that I know that is safe.
BPA has been found in some baby bottles, water bottles, food containers, and the lining of cans. Earlier studies have suggested it causes developmental problems in newborns. But now a new study, the first ever human study, suggests adults could be at risk too. Researchers measured the amount of BPA in the urine of more than 1,400 people. Those with the highest levels of BPA had more than twice as many heart attacks and cases of diabetes compared to those with the lowest levels.
We need to get this out of food contact items. I personally eat or drink nothing out of cans.
But today, at hearings looking into the safety of BPA, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration didn't agree, saying the current levels of exposure to BPA are acceptable. The industry says it couldn't agree more.
I have no concerns with bisphenol A. The levels that people are exposed to are extraordinarily low, far below the science-based safety standards that have been established around the world.
Back in April, Canada was set to become the first country in the world to list BPA as a toxic substance and ban the use of polycarbonate baby bottles. But that was 6 months ago, and still no announcement. Health Canada says it likely won't decide what to do about BPA until sometime next month.
How are you doing with your...
But this store owner, along with many others across the country, aren't waiting.
We've totally gone into ceramic and we've gone into metal and we're totally looking into bamboo and other products to use that are healthy and not even an issue at all as far as BPA is concerned.
Seems some Canadians have initiated a ban of their own by refusing products made with BPA. Lori Graham, CBC News, Toronto.
Then in August of this year came another scary-sounding statistic. A study found that 9 out of 10 Canadians had BPA in their bodies, and that teenagers tended to have the highest concentrations. Here's the CBC's Kelly Crow.
In the aisles of this store called Moms to Be, they have some experience with bisphenol A. From